Right. Can you hear me? We should have started right now. If everything is well, let me know in the chat. Alright, yeah, let's get to it. So, third day on a row. Where's the camera? I keep losing the camera. I have so many monitors, so many things right now. But yeah, okay, getting in the flow of this. I'm still, like learning how to stream, how to get better at it. But I do have a couple of really cool things that I want to test today. And today I want to talk about task management. So if any of you have any question, let me know in the chat. Let me just get this in place. There we go. Cool. All right, so yeah, today we're gonna be talking about task management and project management, how to make things work when it comes to organizing a workflow that you can use for organizing your to-dos for the day, whether that's professionally or personally. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. I actually want to do this so that I can have a better idea of what are the common struggles that you might have with this. So yeah, really looking forward to have a bit of a conversation on this topic. So, I think I forgot to fill up my water. Oh no, I'm out of water. I'll be right back. How about that? Let me just fill up the water because I really get thirsty when I talk this much. We'll be back. All right, I'll be back in a second. Cool, I'm back. All right. Yeah, really needed my water. So, can we hear the music? I think the music stopped. There we go. Everything should be working. Let me just make super sure everything's alright. Let me remove this because now I'm back. Let's take a look. Alright, concurrent views. Okay. Seems like the resolution is a bit lower than it should be. Let me know if everything looks fine on your side. Cool. Alright, yeah, so again, we're gonna be talking about task management. Actually, let me have a bit of an alert for people as they come. Feel free to ask any questions regarding task management. There we go. I always misspell management. Should be there. Cool. There we go. All set. Yeah, do you like what I just did with that thing? It's really cool. A nice way in which I can have a bit of a pop-up just coming in here. So yeah, really excited to keep learning better techniques to stream, to make things more engaging, to make things better. So yeah, let me just check everything's in place. I think we're all good. Cool. Playbacks. All right. We might be discussing a bit of Notion. We might be discussing a bit of other applications. Jens, greets from Germany. Thank you for being here. There you go. Yeah, I'm testing this nice little pop-up, so let me know if that looks good on your side. Yeah, so today we're gonna be discussing task management, anything related to like how we organize the things that we want to do for general productivity and just for keeping track of things. I want to share with you a couple of the techniques that I use, but if you have any questions that you might want to drop in the chat, I'd love to take a look at that. Feel free to let me know if you have any particular workflow that you're trying to achieve, maybe what type of work you're doing, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I will be showing you a couple of stuff, but I really want to make this guided on the questions that people might have. So Jens, if you want to drop any questions on the chat, that'd be amazing. In the meantime, let me just check that everything's good with my applications that I want to show in a second. Cool, yeah, everything seems good. Yeah, so I'm actually making this video as a bit of preparation for a video that I'm doing. Danny, what's up, man? Letting the hair loose. Yeah, this is my streaming hair. Is when I go completely unfiltered. Yeah, no, to be honest, the main reason why I have my hair done is because the back of the chair when I have my hair up is really annoying. So I'm gonna either have to cut my hair or get a better chair. Well, I mean, get a chair made for my hair. But yeah, actually right now I was telling Danny the other day that I sold my soul and I started using Notion again. This is a workflow that I have in Notion. I was actually having a, what do you call it? Let me delete this. A checklist for the things that I had to do for the stream. There's a couple of things I didn't do, but I guess it's fine. And this is something I use for a lot of task management and keeping track of general processes that I do for whatever I have to do. Like for instance, right now I'm learning how to stream. I'm trying to get better at it, and a lot of technical things come into it, and I'm using OBS, which is it's a really advanced one that I also use for recording my videos, and just being able to have a nice checklist really helps. And I have it also with tags and filters. This is something that yesterday we were talking about in our previous stream, how it's not that easy to achieve in something like Notion and something like Obsidian or even Logseq. That is why I really like Notion, for the purpose of having tables and checklists, like that. That is where Notion really shines at. So yeah, I'd love to talk a bit more about project management using Notion, because that's what I use for project management most of the time, as well as collaboration in Notion. But for to-do lists, I actually use something called Marvin, Amazing Marvin, that I actually really enjoy. It's one of the best ones, very similar to Todoist, but it kind of really depends on your taste. I think productivity tools really depend on what is the kind of workflow that you're looking at. I can actually start showing a bit of Amazing Marvin and I can start filling up some stuff. Cool. So Jens has a question. Let's check that out. So do you actually do your task manager completely outside of Obsidian or Logseq? Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, Jens. Means a lot. So actually, yeah, I do. Where's the camera? I keep looking everywhere. There you are. It's a little GoPro. That's why it's hard to spot. But either way, yes, I do all of my task management outside of Obsidian and outside of Logseq. I tried to do absolutely everything in Logseq for a while. I could definitely show you what that looks like. I don't know if I have it all completely filtered for private stuff, but in Logseq is pretty nice. I actually made a video. Let me actually share the screen and show you. Danny is saying, what are you saying, Danny? Collaboration? I totally get, but it depends. Yeah, I mean, Notion is really good for collaboration, mostly because my apps are Obsidian, Logseq, and Notion, and out of those three, well, and Amazing Marvin, which I'll be showing you, out of those, collaboration is the best one. That's not how you speak. Notion is the best one for collaboration out of those ones that I use mostly, most of the time. But yeah, back to Jen's question, regarding if I use Obsidian or Logseq. I actually have, let me show you. I have a bit of a, where is it? I have a video where I discuss a bit of using Notion versus, while it loads, let me just try to find it. Yeah, I have a video where I actually compare the difference between using Notion for task management versus Logseq, because I was using Notion 100% for task management, and that was the only place where I actually did everything. But it got too crazy. There's so much maintenance that needs to be considered when you do everything in Notion. Let me actually show you what I mean. So yeah, here it is, Notion versus Logseq. Yeah, that's a video I did right when I moved everything from Notion to Logseq when it comes to task management. This one right here. Yeah, check it out. I can definitely link it in the chat so that you can check it out if you want, because that can give you a bit more insight, Jens, when it comes to deciding if it's worth moving out of Luxic and Obsidian for this kind of stuff. I'll put it right here in the chat. There we go. What is Danny saying? Let's see. I've been thinking about having a team account in Obsidian and then using the sync vault as an update. No idea if it would work, but an idea I have been playing with. So Danny, are you talking about like having like a shared vault of Obsidian sync with someone else? A team account in Obsidian. Okay, I get you. Yeah, so you would have to create an account inside of Obsidian so that people can actually see the same Obsidian sync. Yeah, that's actually good. You know, I actually really think the Obsidian team should try to work something like that, like a way to collaborate between people by having like maybe two accounts connected to the same Obsidian sync, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, like that's the problem, you know, how do you give people, it's always kind of tricky to share your accounts with other people. That's why I really think that the Obsidian team should make it so that Obsidian Sync works for several accounts, but it's not a bad idea, you know, creating a new account that just people share and have access to and have a password and so on. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Have you tried that, Danny? You said no idea if it would work, but an idea I've been playing with. Yeah, I honestly think it would work. Personally, I use Obsidian Sync, you know, like, because you have up to 5 volts in Obsidian Sync, if I'm not wrong, that you can sync. Yeah, my girlfriend also uses Obsidian Sync, and because we share one computer, she uses my Obsidian Sync account, and that's how she manages to use Obsidian Sync for her purposes. So I do think it's possible. What is Danny saying? Yes, because the account would have a password and the sync would be 5 passwords for different vaults. Yeah, exactly. Each vault. Okay. So you're saying protecting Obsidian Sync with a new password. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm actually interested. Let me check out what Obsidian looks like. Let me open my Obsidian because I'd be curious to know how that would work. Yeah, Obsidian really needs some collaboration features. You know, I think Obsidian Sync has the power for that. Danny's saying I use Sync on my phone, PC, laptop, and iPad with one Sync vault. My sister uses. Okay, so your sister is also using your account, right? Yeah, that's the same setup I have with my girlfriend, but because she uses my computer sometimes, that's why it's a bit easier. But yeah, I guess it's possible. I'm checking out Obsidian just to see. You know, it's always hard to show parts of Obsidian without, you know, private information, but I think Obsidian Sync I could show. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so for instance here I have it. Let me show you my screen. Like my Obsidian Sync is like, I have 4, most of them are tests. This is the one that my girlfriend uses because she uses it for teaching. She teaches English to Chinese kids online. This is my main one, Santi Vault. Actually, well, Santi 2.0 is my main one. This was the old version. I had some issues with Obsidian Sync that I had to solve, so I had to create a new one. Mobile is just a test, but yeah, to be honest, the only one I use is this one right here. Right now it's disconnected because I was testing certain things. Actually, the biggest problem I have right now with Obsidian Sync is that it doesn't fully work when you use Luxic that much. That's why I mainly use, it's a weird setup what I have, but I have my laptop. That's where I have Obsidian Sync running, which is on top of Dropbox, where I actually managed to sync Luxic and Obsidian inside of that one. And then with that, I'm able to sync from my laptop to my phone while using Dropbox from everything else. It's really crazy. But yeah, let's see what Danny's saying. As soon as collaboration is worked out with Obsidian, it will change. It would change like, it would challenge. Okay, I can't read. It would challenge the likes of Rome, Luxic and Notion especially. What do you see? What do you get? Editors out. See what you get. Yeah, sorry, I'm having trouble reading. Yeah, the what you see is what you get is gonna be really, really good. I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's gonna be like, you know, like making Obsidian such a much more powerful tool, something way more powerful. Let's see what Jens is saying. Let me close this right here. Cool, yeah, so Jens, at the moment I'm using Things for my task management and Obsidian as my Zettelkasten. I've been trying Luxic for 3 days as my work journal. That's awesome. Yeah, Jens, I'm so happy you're testing Luxic. I absolutely love it. I was really trying to see if Roam Research would have been a good solution, especially because I see a lot of people actually using Roam Research for task management as well. So of course it's always enticing to have like this all-in-one solution, but to me, like having one dedicated app for each thing, it's a much better workflow. Ah, yeah, there you go, Jens. A little bit like your Swiss Army knife solution. Yeah, that is the idea. Yeah, and I'm glad you watched that video because that is exactly the idea. Yeah, and Danny's saying that he also uses Todoist for task management. Yeah, I mean, Todoist is really, really good. I've actually used it quite a bit. I don't know if I have it right now. Let me see if I have it. Yeah, I don't have it downloaded. Let me see if I can go on the browser version, because here's my problem with Todoist. And I've talked about this before, but the main problem for me is really that it doesn't have a calendar built in. I'm gonna share with you in a second. Let me see if I can log into my Todoist real quick. Yeah, I wanna show you why I use Amazing Marvin over Todoist, because like it has a couple of things that are slightly better. Let's see. So, okay, yeah, this is my Todoist. I'll show you, but it's really outdated and it's with things that I don't use anymore. Sorry for the light mode. Let me see if I can make it dark. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, that's artificially dark is with the plugin, but either way, at least it doesn't burn your eyes. So, I mean, I have a lot of expired things because I don't use Todoist anymore, but, the concept of being able to have like these to read, watch, listen, which I have it as a project, I was trying to see how it would work, like the Kanban, this is for listening, this is maybe, that kind of stuff. I really like being able to do that in Todoist, like the fact that it has a Kanban board. I don't know how much of this, let me just take a look to see if there's anything sensitive information. I don't think so, because I moved everything out of here. Like I'm not using it anymore. Yeah, so check it out. So for instance, here I have apps, organize this thing, and in Todoist you can schedule things, right? So let's say that is due today. But what if I have things for today, tomorrow, next week? I could only see it in upcoming. Let me again check if there's anything sensitive in there. I don't think so. But yeah, this is what things look like. Yeah, all good. It's actually funny because Danny is in this mastermind session. So there you go, Danny, shout out. That we do once a month. And yeah, so in here we have something of a calendar, right? But it's not quite, Danny's actually saying right now, you use gcal sync for moving the dates around. Yeah, actually, that is what I also did in Todoist. I actually do that in any app that I use, try to see if it syncs with Google Calendar. But yeah, I mean, the fact that there's no view inside of Todoist is quite annoying for me. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like that's the biggest problem. Now let me show you what I actually have for as an alternative to Todoist, because Todoist right here, it has this type of calendar view. Now let me show you the one that I use, Amazing Marvin. Let me just filter certain things for privacy issues. That's the problem, and Danny, you probably know this, but making videos, productivity apps, you always gotta see that there's no private tasks that you don't want people to see, especially embarrassing stuff. I don't know, like train my nails today, go to the doctor for, I don't know, a stomach checkup. Okay, let me check. So I don't want to destroy the calendar sync that I have, but maybe I can hide some things. So schedule, let me see. Okay, yeah, that should work. Okay, right now I only have, that's how I managed to filter everything out. Okay, so this is my Amazing Marvin, and in Amazing Marvin one can have like the master list, which right now I just filter everything out. I just have a demo. In here, for instance, you can say like, I don't know, go to dentist, and in here you can create all types of sub projects. Let's just say like work, and because I make videos, let's just put like, I don't know, YouTube, and let's actually put this inside of here. Let's do, inside of YouTube we can do something like live streams, and in here you can have something like, like do a live stream on task management, which is exactly what we're doing right now. Oh, there's no spelling correction, that's annoying. Either way, So now this one, I can actually schedule it for today, like that. There we go. Let's just do like, I don't know, plan next live stream. And this one I can schedule for tomorrow. There we go. And now what's really cool is that you have another view where you can see things, you know, based on the specific day. Like for instance, let's say like, I don't know, show Amazing Marvin. And this will go down here. Now let me check. I know I was playing with some filters, so I really don't know why it's not showing this one that we just did as an example. This one should show on today. Maybe I misscheduled it. Is it showing now? Yeah, there we go. So right, like now we can see this. Now let me actually take a look, because the calendar, it might just show absolutely everything I have. So I just want to check if that can be shown in here. Let me see. Okay, so what I need to do, I mean, it's fine. I only have a couple of things in here, so I can show you. Either way, here we have the calendar thing. And then in this calendar thing, I can schedule the ones made for today. But in order to do that, I need to put some time for this. So, you know, like what I can do is I can have on the sidebar the ones that are meant for today. And then I can bring an agenda. And then this one, let's say I want to do it at, just scroll down a bit, at this time. I mean, we're doing it now, so we might as well just drag it up like that, right? And now when we go to calendar, we should be able to see it here, show the scheduled tasks. Is that showing? Why is that not showing? Okay, yeah, let me see. Let me see why that's not showing. It should really show. Ah, there it is. I just needed to scroll down. There it is, right? So when you have that, you can see that this has gone to your calendar, right? So that way, you know, you can decide which ones to filter. Okay, yeah, that one right now is showing just the demo ones, which is good. But this is a task that I organized from my to-do system, and I can also sync this to Google Calendar and so on. So, you know, that's a really nice workflow that I really enjoy. That is saying that my purpose for Todoist are the widgets for my phone, shortcuts and keyboard clipper for articles. Yeah. The web clipper in Todoist is really good. You know, the other one that has a good web clipper is Notion. But yeah, shortcuts and keyboard and the widget for phone, that's definitely good. Dan is asking, how many calendars can you sync with it? That's a great question, and that might be the limitation, because I think, let me actually check real quick, you know, like I can't really show absolutely everything, because, you know, there's always like some, you know, like displaying emails and stuff like that. But let me just take a look, because I know you can do quite a few. I mean, I can show you the part before I show you my email and so on. But in here, in strategies as it's called, there we go. You have tons of like, something like plugins, right? That's how Amazing Marvin allows it to do it. And now if we search for calendar, here it shows you that you can have, well, events, but you can also have a couple of other additional things. Now, let me just look into it, because this will display my email, but I definitely can check how many calendars you can add, because I've added a couple if I'm not wrong. But being able to add several, you know, like more than, for instance, especially because I use Google Calendars, I use quite a few. Okay, yeah, I was wrong. It's actually this one, Calendar Sync. The other one is just a complement to it. So in this one, okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't show you this part, unfortunately, because sensitive information. But yeah, I mean, you actually can sync. Let me see. I'm gonna pretend I'm adding another calendar. Okay, yeah, there seems to be no limits. You seem to be, right now I have like 3 calendars, so I use quite a few more. I haven't moved absolutely everything to sync with Amazing Marvin, but right now taking a look at it, seems like you can sync unlimited amount of calendars, which is always useful, because I really don't know about Todoist. Can't remember what happened when I was trying to sync the calendars, but I think there is a bit of a limit, isn't there? Danny, do you know? Are there shortcuts in there? Yeah, there you have nice shortcuts. I actually have one nice one, like for instance, like for mobile. I don't know if you're talking about shortcuts in the computer or shortcuts as in like an easy way to add tasks from the phone. Either way, Amazing Marvin has both. It has nice shortcuts in the desktop experience, but it also has a really nice way to add a task quickly. I can actually show you from my phone what Amazing Marvin lets you do. So let me just give you an example. Yeah, there we go. So what you can do is like, okay, let me try to show it like this. This is my phone, and if I click on this little thing, that is my shortcut for more apps. You can see that right here says add tasks, and if I add a task in there, let's just do, I don't know, let's do test for stream. There we go, like that. By the way, yeah, my keyboard is crazy. That is a video that I use. The keyboard that I use is really cool. And then, you can barely see it. It's a bit overexposed, but there we go. I just destroyed it. I don't know if it even saved. Let me just do another one. Okay, so test for stream 2. There we go. Okay, it's really hard to see, but trust me, there's some text in there. Oh man, I can't believe you can't see that. That's really annoying. Either way, test for stream, and then you click next. Trust me, there was some text in there. You can add more in there. But now if we take a look at Amazing Marvin, hopefully it won't fail me right now because it's usually very fast. It's possible to just have that sync directly into your thing. Now, let me just check real quick. Yeah, it should work. It's just that I have some filters that don't let me see it, but I can still show you. Test from stream. Let me see why it didn't sync. It's usually really fast. Maybe it still shows in Marvin in the app. I just have a lot of weird filters right now to hide private notes, so it's really hard to show you. But right now it's syncing data. Let's give that a second. We'll revisit it. Trust me, it's good. Do a live stream. Yeah, I don't know why it hasn't come out yet. Either way, you gotta trust me, technical difficulties from live streams, but you can. And it's really nice. Okay, so Jans is saying, let me just actually put this filter on. Oh man, yeah, Amazing Marvin definitely needs to improve when it comes to like filters for private sessions, but right now it's working. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Jans is saying, I like the quick capture feature in things. Does Amazing Marvin? Yeah, that is what I was trying to show. I'm so sorry I couldn't do a proper demo of it, just because I have a lot of strange filters for like filtering private notes, and that might be causing conflicts right now. But yeah, it does have that quick capture, and that's what I was trying to show. So Danny's saying on Todoist there isn't a limit in syncing, but the free plan has limits to projects. Yeah, that's what I was aware of. That like there's the limitation of how many projects you can create, right? Yeah, we can just. What are you talking about, Danny? Nice. Nice comments. But yeah, that is basically how this works. Again, like the main reason why it might have not come up what I was showing you earlier is that I have a filter of demo, and if I turn this off, it's really hard to like bring it, like to just not display my private notes. Yeah, I mean, next time I might plan it a bit better so that you can just see my Marvin absolutely, and maybe I can tag all the private things with private. But I guess I could give you a bit of a, like an overview of what my real Marvin looks like without filters, hopefully trying not to display too much private information, but yeah, here it is. So this is what Amazing Marvin looks like. This is my real one. I have my inbox. I have, I divided inbox and personal inbox just for the purpose of this video, or this stream. I usually just have one inbox. Then I have different things like Santi Younger, which I guess I could show you these ones. I have online courses. I have YouTube videos, consultations, websites that I'm building, community, and so on, collaborations. Maybe I have some sensitive information in that one. But yeah, that's how I organize things. I have a lot of different categories for different things, and then you can organize all of this and actually show it in your day-to-day, and it's just a very nice workflow. Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, I do plan to make a proper video on Amazing Marvin, in which case I'll definitely be able to show things a bit better. So Danny's saying, what is your toolkit right now? Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I actually created a nice kind of mind map that I'm opening right now on what is all the apps that I've used and the ones that I'm still using. You know, like what is my workflow of how I move from one app to the other, which ones I'm currently using, and so on. Let me show you. Yeah, by toolkit you mean the apps that I use, right? Yeah, let's see. Okay, this is loading. Give me a second. Yeah, because I'm actually using Figma for this. I created a nice mind map for the apps that I use. Let me just try to find it. Where is it? There it is. Okay, yeah, it's a nice flow chart. Let me try to open that. Take a second. Water break. Yeah, Figma's taking forever. It's loading right there. That is Figma. That's where I do my mind maps, flowcharts, and similar stuff. Should load any second now. Any second now. There it is. Perfect. Okay. So here's the order of the apps that I've used, and you know, it kind of shows which ones I am using mostly right now. So okay, first I kind of started with Evernote like everyone else. You know, just like using Evernote just to see if that was the main way where I can just organize my notes. You know, this was back before I got into plain text files, into all this kind of stuff. Then I definitely used OneNote for a while. You know, I don't use OneNote at all now, but I definitely tried it out. Then I was using Zoho Notebook, and again, this is a combination of a couple of things. This one is mostly for note taking, actually. I'll definitely talk more a bit what are the ones that I use maybe more frequently for the purpose of task management. But you know, like Zoho Notebook is a nice one. Like it's pretty aesthetic. Like I don't think I have it on this phone anymore. But it's just a nice visual ways in which you can organize things by notebooks. Pretty similar to Evernote in concept, at least in the way it works. But yeah, let me show you what else. So from Zoho Notebook, I went to QO Notes. Now QO Notes, hey Brian, what's up, man? Yeah, everyone knows each other. Man, it's such a shame that today we have a smaller stream with less people, because we have two giants. We have Danny and we have Brian. Thanks, Brian, for coming here for a second. Really appreciate it. Brian, actually, are you interested? Have you ever tried QO Notes? Because this was the first plain text program that I ever tried, you know? Majestic main. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's pretty majestic. I appreciate it. I need to brush it. I never brush it. But yeah, I don't wear it down on videos. But on streams, you know, it's a bit of a hair down style, so why not? Here we have a bit of a crossover between Danny and Brian. But yeah, so back to this thing right here. So yeah, QO Notes, Brian, I'd love to know if you actually have ever tried that one, because that's where I started. And of course Vim, you know, where's Vim? Do I have it in this list? Yeah, Vim Wiki. Brian, I'm sure that you've experimented with this a lot. Man, you're a clown. Yeah, long hair, don't care. Yeah, Vim Wiki is one that I really enjoyed, and I was using for quite a while. You know, at the same time that I was using QO Notes, I also discovered Typora. So Typora is what you see is what you get kind of workflow. Like I was explaining the other day, it is the idea that you have like preview mode in Obsidian. Like anything you write is like Word. You know, you don't see the markdown behind things. But yeah, I'm sure most of you are aware of that. Brian is talking about have used Vim Wiki, and yeah, Brody Robertson. And I have some of the more popular videos in Vim. Yeah, exactly, man. I think I've seen one of your Vim Wiki videos. Man, that's a while ago. Yeah, I remember when I used to watch your videos and you were doing Linux stuff. That's how we met each other on your YouTube comments. Now we're both doing Obsidian stuff. Really cool, man. But yeah, Brody's really good, man. He really moved to Vim Wiki. He was like really, I watched that video. He was really into Vim Wiki. Let's see what Danny's saying. I have tried all of them for like an hour, but was in Notion for so long, 3 years. Yeah, Danny, wow, like were you, let me just get my hair out of my face. So 3 years of Notion, Danny. Yeah, what happened? Let us know what happened. Like I've seen your video, like on leaving Notion, but you really haven't tried it again, have you? Like that's crazy, man. You really destroyed your Notion relationship. I did that too, but now I'm back on it. But yeah, okay. Let me show you some others to see if anyone has like a similar workflow. I moved from BeamWiki to Obsidian, and now I'm practically using Obsidian and Logseq. That is my main thing for note taking. But I actually use, to complement that, I use Amazing Marvin, which again, let me just show you now for Brian that wasn't here a second ago. This one's Amazing Marvin right here. Really cool, very nice, super aesthetic. But of course, right now it's pretty empty because it's just for the sake of demo. But it's really nice how you can organize things in lists in this way. I love this one. And then I also use Notion for collaboration and for project management. Let's see what Brian is saying. So yeah, Linux Days will return one day. Gotta do my own Arch build. Yeah, Arch Linux, right? Yeah, DWM, ST, Cyclist Utils. Yeah, CSH. I actually have used Bash for the longest time. I have so many things already set up in Bash. Let me give you a shout out, Brian, because it's hilarious. The way that I have my what do you call it, my terminal is inspired on one of your things. You actually helped me. Let me just show you this little thing right here. This is Brian inspired. You had something similar to this in one of your videos in your terminal, and I just modified it. If I go to downloads or like whatever, it just changes. This is Mac. I don't use the terminal much in here, to be honest, but downloads, there we go. Yeah, like that. So I have it so that the terminal always displays it inside of that, and that's a really nice workflow that I got from you. So thank you Brian for that. That was really cool. It's a modified version. Like yours, I think have some awesome runes and really cool stuff. But yeah, this is the one that I've been using for the longest time, and I really like it. What else are we saying? Really, yeah. I mean, haven't tried it much. Like I have so much in Bash that I haven't really moved. Yeah, this is a correction. I knew something was off in there, but is it really that good? I mean, maybe I might move to it. But yeah, you're saying Linux days aren't over, right? Like I use my laptop for Linux, but to be honest, my Mac days might be over soon because this is a Mac setup. I have a second monitor in here, and I have an old, what do you call it? An iMac. Yeah, let me see if I can show you like in the poor smart man version of like just using my phone to show a bit of a reflection of things. This is terrible, but either way, there I have a monitor. This is terrible. I should just use a mirror. Next time I'll have that second camera that I have over there to show setups. But yeah, this is an old iMac, so I might actually replace that for Windows because I'm about to buy one of those massive gaming PCs. So excited for that. So I might just sell my soul again and go back to Windows, which I'm really not excited for, but I do plan to keep my Linux laptop around. So I might just like destroy my Mac setup, like get rid of Mac, too expensive. Yeah, I still got my ThinkPad. Yeah, nice. How is that one? So that is a laptop, right? Like, do you have Linux in there? And the Linux community at its finest, technological cannibalism. Yeah, yeah, the terminal thing. Yeah, that's what we all do, right? We just steal each other's code and just try to modify it. What is Danny saying? I still use Notion with clients, but for personal use, it doesn't have the features I want. And for videos, I've covered pretty much everything except the API. Yeah, I mean, the API in Notion, it seems pretty cool. I've tested it quite a bit. But yeah. Brian is saying, I still think it's hilarious, all of our crossovers, Linux, Obsidian, Parkour. Yeah, man, I remember like one of the first videos that I found of you. This is like, I don't know, it's a maybe 2-year-old video, maybe longer. You were talking about how you're also kind of a jack of all trades. You have a lot of interests. This was before we both started doing Obsidian. And I remember, yeah, like I commented there being like, oh man, it's so cool that you're into Parkour, Linux, Obsidian. And I think we have a few other overlaps as well on interest. So yeah, man, that's super cool. So Pop OS, yeah, actually I haven't tried Pop. Pop! OS at all. Brian, have you tried this? I've been really curious. And yeah, ThinkPad running Arch for the win. Relying on all terminal apps. It runs like a dream. Heavy loads make it heat up like a sun. Man, my laptop, I don't have it here. I think it's in the living room, but my laptop overheats like a maniac. Like I usually, that is a better computer than this old iMac because it's newer. You know, it's not that new, but it's like maybe 5 years old. Whereas this computer is like, I don't know, almost 10 years old. So yeah, I don't know. See you, Danny. Thank you for popping in. Gotta leave you guys to it. See you in the internet, man. Yeah, so Pop! OS, what is it about Pop! OS that you like? You know, I'd be really interested because I haven't tried that. I mostly use Arch Linux based stuff, you know, but yeah, because I've used Manjaro, Ubuntu is not Arch Linux, but I've used Ubuntu, and now I use Garuda Linux, which is really nice on my laptop. I've used a couple different like variations of Manjaro, but mostly it has been like what is it, like KDE? Yeah. There are two Luxy gurus, Santi and Brian. I have a question. I didn't understand the difference between tags and pages in Luxic. When do I use what? Yeah, okay, that's a great question. Brian, what do you have in mind? Let me know what you think, because I can definitely, in the meantime, I can start opening Luxic so that I can show certain things around and maybe the way that I organize things. But Brian, I'd love to know your opinion on that. I overloaded. Compatible RAM, sliced battery. Yeah, I get you. 16 gigabytes of RAM. SSD. Yeah, nice specs. Yeah, I mean, how are you finding 16 gigabytes of RAM? You know, because I'm building this new build custom PC and I'm doing it with 16, but I could expand it to 32 and I'm still undecided between the two, especially for video editing and for 3D art that I also do. This is so true. You know, this is in regards to Jan's question, but yeah, okay, I'll try to tackle it a bit, at least show you my workflow. But yeah, I mean, I get your brain. There's definitely a limit on the chat. How do you pronounce this? Gnome or gnome? I've heard both types of pronunciations, with a more pro industry behind. Yeah, I get you. Some compatible sticks, 8 GB each, though they shouldn't tackle more than 8 GB. It's a hack. Okay, got you. Yeah, no, I mean, I think 16 is a really nice sweet spot. Everything below it I feel personally, is a bit too low. But you know, either way, let's get into this question that Jenks had. Oh wait, yeah, I just really wanted to know this. GNOME. Okay, GNOME. Perfect. That makes sense. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, so when it comes to, you know, like tags, let me actually share my screen with you. So this is my Luxic. I'm actually using you know, the Luxic with my custom theme that I created called Cobra. So in themes, I'm actually using this one. This is a default theme, but you know, I have my custom theme that is already available if anyone's interested, but of course I still gotta do a couple of tweaks to it. GNOME. Yeah, thanks, Nick. Yeah, GNOME. Yeah, I've always struggled with the pronunciation of that one. Either way, back to Luxic. So what I end up using all of the time is really just like this type of links, you know, memory, for instance. You know, like I practice a lot of memory techniques, you know, like memory palaces, that kind of stuff. So in here I want to be like, today I did my Anki cards, you know, and that's how I actually organize absolutely everything in Luxic. I never end up using these ones, you know, and as you can see, I have a lot of clutter from code. I definitely need to clean that up, but you know, I never end up using memory with a hashtag. But oh wait, that didn't work for some reason. Let me just try it again. Memory. Why is that not working? That's really strange. But either way, I never end up using that. I don't know why it's not working right now. That's definitely some strange bug that I'm encountering right now, but I never end up using that one, and as far as I know, it's pretty much the same, you know. Brian, if you disagree with that and you see a benefit of using the hashtag, I'd love to know, because I never use that. I hope that answers your question, gents. Gotta get back to work. I just saw you were live and thought I'd Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here, Brian. Really appreciate it. So have a great day. Yep. Nick is also saying have a good one, Brian. We'll love you here. You're great. That works after a line break. Tags work after line breaks. Okay. Yeah, so that's why it didn't work. So you gotta do the line break. Let me test that out. So let's just do, because I never used them, like memory. There we go. That was why. Yeah, I mean, that was just me being a bit dumb. Thank you, Brian. You just saved the day again. See ya, man. Hit up frequent question repo and I'll answer tonight. Yeah, if anyone's interested in this, feel free to do that. Have a nice, see you, man. Awesome. So yeah, going back to the question about the difference between tags. This is how it works. So, it wasn't working like that because I just need to enter it. And this is pretty much the same. The only downside of actually having to use it with tags is that now if you want to do, I don't know, let's say memory techniques, right? Let's say you want to make memory techniques into a tag or into a link, right? If you were to just select it all and do it like that, you can do it. When you press the enter line break, it works. But if you want to do it with the hashtag, as you can see, techniques, if I can spell that, there we go. It only does it for the first one. Now the workaround for this is that you would have to use a hyphen in the middle of that, right? So that is really the problem. I've also seen people do something like this. Memory techniques, like that, In that case, it's really not needed to have the hyphen in between, because this already is doing that. But of course, then what is the point of doing this? So that is really the disadvantage of using the hashtag, is that you need to have the text connecting, and you can do that with a hyphen, right? So yeah, that's the main idea of that. But that's basically how it works. And yeah, that's why I end up always using this kind of format like that rather than this one. And in case you're curious, when I tag something memory, then I'm able to go into that one and I can see everything related to memory that I've written every single day. So that's how I keep track of my progress on memory techniques. And that is how I actually use Logseq, literally 100% of the time. So yeah, that's my workflow. Let's see. Yeah, this is a good question. So how do you exploit embed in Logseq when you go back to Obsidian, Santi? Okay, that's a good question. Let me actually try to give you a bit of an answer to that, because it's kind of tricky. Okay, yeah, the problem with embeds, and just to really make sure that we're on the same page, when you do an embed, let me actually show you my screen. So let's just do, this is a test embed. I'm actually gonna open Obsidian on the side as well so that we can actually visualize this. There we go. Yeah, okay, so here I have Obsidian. Here I have, okay, first let me tell you, embeds between Logseq and Obsidian aren't that compatible, but just to, make sure that we are on the same page, just to make sure that you mean the exact same thing, I'm actually gonna put them side by side because I do want to show you what I mean. Let me just move this here. There we go. As you can see, they both look pretty similar, but on the left is Logseq, on the right is Obsidian. So this is a test embed, and now if I make an embed, this is a test embed. There we go. That should link this one to that one, right? And as you can see, the way it looks in Obsidian is pretty messed up. It just simply doesn't work, which is kind of the same thing that happens if you do it the other way around. So honestly, what I do is basically just any embed. Okay, this is the way I deal with it. Okay, first, I think there might be a solution in the future. I've been talking to a developer to see if there's any way to solve this. Created a plugin that lets us see the same thing on both sides, because as you can see, of course, this is not usable in Obsidian. So what I personally do right now is I know that any single embed that I will ever do is always in Logseq. So for me, it's more about if I want to visualize an embed, I always go to Logseq. I never use the Obsidian embeds. I know it's it's less than ideal, and I really hope this gets fixed. Again, I've been talking to a developer to see if it's possible to create a plugin that solves this, but right now it's just a problem, to be honest. Um, yeah, let's see. I think you can use tags to set filters, not with pages, right? Um, I think you can do it with both, to be honest. You mean with queries in Logic, right? Um, yeah, I don't use queries all that much, to be honest. But as far as I know, you can also do it with pages. I don't think it's just limited to tags. But yeah, let me know if you're talking about queries, because that might change a bit of my answer on that. But yeah, did the music stop? Let me just check why the music stopped. Because the playlist ended. That's why. Okay, let's play it. There we go. Are the music volumes okay, by the way? I think they're good. Cool, yeah, so, like, basically, when it comes to Obsidian versus Logseek, there's always going to be this limitation unless someone creates a nice plugin. I'm always checking, actually, to see if anyone, for any miraculous reason, has created a plugin for Logseek, and I always check, and I'm disappointed when I search for Logseek. But I've heard that some people are interested in doing it, so really hope it comes one day. No, not queries. Okay, then let me reread your question. Maybe I was wrong about something. I think you can use tags to set filters, not with pages. Okay, are you... okay. You're definitely talking just about Logseek, right? Because in Obsidian, that works a bit differently. To set filters. I know what you mean. Yeah. So you're talking about Logseek's filters when it comes to backlinks, right? Huh, that's interesting. Let me give that a try, because I'm not fully sure. So when you're in Logseek, there's a way to do a filter, right? That is only for backlinks, sorry. Okay, so let's just go to memory in here. I hope so. Either one plugin or embed for the devs. Yeah, I mean, I really wish that Obsidian and Logseek collaborated, like that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Yeah, okay, Jens, so you're saying like click on a page and then on the right of the filter. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, there's this filter for backlinks, and then the one that you're saying is on the right on the filter icon. Okay. I actually never use this feature, so I'm really sorry that I'm not fully aware of what you mean. I know this one, that is for backlinks, but I know that Rome Research has one for main filters, for the whole page, for the contents of the page. I haven't tested that one, so I'm not fully sure, but for this one, like this one works okay for like page links. But I think I know what you mean. It's just that I really haven't tested that feature if you're talking about a different one. But for this one, it does work with links. As you can see, all of these are links made with square brackets, the square bracket rather than with hashtags. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're talking about anything else, because I can't see any other filter buttons in here. But I might definitely be wrong. Yeah, not sure. But yeah, no, I mean, I really think one day, or I really hope at least one day, Obsidian and Logseek will really try to collaborate somehow. I know that the Logseek creators are willing to collaborate. I talked a lot to them. They're really cool. They're really, willing to make this, to make Logseek as compatible with other tools as possible. But I think the Obsidian developers are a bit more focused on making Obsidian an all-in-one solution. So I don't know how willing they'd be to actually make things work perfectly with Logseek, because Logseek's embedding functionality is way better than Obsidian's. So that is kind of like the situation right now when it comes to embedding. I just think Logseek is so much better for embedding. And a lot of people were just saying, like, for Obsidian, like, it's just not possible to have that type of powerful embedding Markdown, but Logseek just proved that it is possible, because Logseek's embeds are just as powerful as Rome Research, in my opinion. Let me actually show you. I actually make heavy use of the embeds, and not only can we have like this type of embeds, but we can also have the ones where we can have a double way sync. So let me actually give you an example. So embed, block embed. Then I'm gonna copy this because that's the easiest way. And then I paste that, and now is a double way to modify embeds. This is something that Obsidian currently doesn't have. So like you can modify text in here and it goes up there, and Obsidian just doesn't let you do that, like that thing's amazing. And then you have like the numbers as well that let you know how many links you have to that one. And of course right now we have the regional. Well, we have the this one that is a block reference and the block embed. That's why we have the number 2. And if we click on the number 2, it will show us, where it belongs to, where it's coming from, which is the date in here, like that. Cool. Joe, man, you're on fire. Thank you so much. You've been on the stream 3 days in a row. You're amazing. Might be something that you covered, but what is your use case for Logseq over Obsidian? Yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy to talk about that. In case you want to dig deeper, I'm not sure if you already checked my video that I did on that, but I'm definitely happy to cover it a bit right now, especially maybe some additional things that I haven't discussed. But here it is. Let me actually take you there just in case, and I'll link it in the chat just in case anyone else is interested. I have this video, Obsidian and Logseq, why I use both. Yeah, I have a bit more of like a thorough video, maybe a bit more concise on why I use both, but I can still talk a bit about it. Actually, I'd love to know if you have any specific questions about it. If not, I can definitely talk a bit of a general my face. I can definitely talk a bit about a general like overview of why I use both. But just long story short, the main reason why I use both is because Obsidian, in my opinion, is way better for searches, for organizing large amount of nodes. I have like 4,000 nodes in Obsidian. To me, Obsidian is kind of like the hub where I have all of my plain text files. Whereas Logseq is where I keep track of my day-to-day logs. That's what it is. Like for me, the way that Logseq works, even though Obsidian has daily notes, let me actually show you what I mean because it's a bit hard to explain. But like here we have, let me just open Obsidian and Logseq side by side. So here we go. Cool. So, okay, as you can see, this is a daily note. I'm gonna just get rid of all of this because we don't need it, especially these ones. Okay, so this is how I keep track of absolutely everything in Obsidian, right? And in Logseq, like I use my daily note, which is this one right here, and then in Obsidian I can have things like the calendar. And now literally my whole workflow has really come down to just using daily notes almost purely, and that is the main reason why I use Logseq. Okay, the main reason why I use Logseq is because creating an outline is such a powerful way to be able to say, like, you can even put time, current time, doing my 3rd live stream, like that, right? And now I have a track record of absolutely everything I've done. So now, for instance, if I want to link this under live stream, like that, now I can go to that page, and whenever I search for live stream, I can see like, oh, okay, look, on this day, on Thursday, 29th of July, I did my 3rd live stream. And that to me is such a powerful way to be able to visualize what was the last time I did something. So for me, the ability to have an outline, just to be a bit concise, the ability to have an outline is the reason why I use Logseq. The ability to have really powerful backlinks that to me are still better than Obsidian, that is another reason to use Logseq. And embeds, which I did talk a second ago, but like embeds in Obsidian are so much more powerful. I can definitely explore that a bit more if you're interested, but great question, Joe. Thank you so much for that. And and Obsidian is a master place where I keep absolutely everything. I use a couple of different applications with plain text file. Obsidian is the main place where I can search absolutely everything. So right now my Logseq is one small folder inside of my larger Obsidian folder. In Obsidian I can use plugins, I can leverage them, especially the mind map plugin, which is the one that I use the most. There's even a Twitter plugin that I really love. So whenever I need a plugin, I go to Obsidian. Whenever I need to write down my daily thoughts and search the backlinks and do embeds, I use Logseq. That's it. And the passion, I don't understand how do you use both? Loxic creates many meta information in Markdown files, and when we open them in Obsidian, there's a mess. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. I mean, that is definitely one of the pain points. I was actually sharing this a second ago, and I just want to capture it so that we, like to see if this is exactly what you mean. But like, is this kind of stuff, like this is a new test embed. And now I'll just do it a bit quicker than earlier because I just did this a second ago. There you go. And now if we also do an embed, what is it called? A block embed. Yeah, that's it. Block embed. Yeah, all of this looks amazing in Loxic, right? But of course, it doesn't look great in Obsidian. There's a lot of numbers, ID numbers. So that's what I was talking a bit earlier. With the other guys, like the reason why I still deal with this, and I was talking that I've been talking to a couple like developers, potential people that might be able to create a plugin to make this work both in Obsidian and Loxic simultaneously, so that it's not this mess of numbers that we have. So really hope that happens in the future. But for now, like whenever I need to do something, I go to the app that does it the best. If I know I want to do a mind map, let me actually show you my example of the mind map that I always use because that is the best one that I have right now. If I want to use a mind map, I can create it in Loxic, but then I can move it to Obsidian and then I can do this kind of stuff, and that is the same type of file. So it's not for absolutely everything that I use a combination of both. I just try to use the one that does the job better for whatever I need. And then I am able to kind of use both for certain purposes. So this outline, I created it in Loxic, but then I move it to Obsidian so that I can have this nice plugin letting me do certain things. But if I want to see embeds, like it is the case in what we were talking about in here, like I know these numbers come from Loxic. In that case, I just go to Loxic and I visualize that information there. That is how I use it. But I get that can be a bit confusing and not as ideal as it could be or as one would hope it be. But I still get you. I really hope it improves, and I really hope we can build a plugin, a community plugin that really integrates both a bit better, because to me the mixture of both applications is incredible and I benefit a lot from it. But I know it can be frustrating for a lot of people that maybe they expect things to integrate a bit better. So I totally get your pain point. I hope it improves over time. So Jens is saying, for me, Obsidian is my Zettelkasten for my permanent notes. Yeah, Loxic is my working journal. Now that's a great workflow. I've actually kind of started to experiment having my Zettelkasten in Loxic. I still can open it from both sides, but I think for whatever purpose you have, say a Zettelkasten, it's better to decide, do I want to have the main Zettelkasten in Loxic or do I want to have it in Obsidian? I think for whatever node that you create, I think you should try to decide do I want this node to be better in Obsidian or to be better in Loxic? Do I want it to be the main place for that to exist in? And the passion, thank you so much. You're very smart. So are you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Third day in a row. Yeah, I've been doing streams for the last, let me just drink some water, the last 3 days. And Andy, I really appreciate you hanging around, especially while I get used to streaming. Something I definitely want to do a lot more of, and I'm really enjoying it. Getting to hang out with you guys is amazing. So I really appreciate your support. Considering what you said, I started making Obsidian daily notes and MOC of the notes I made that day. This way I have the search result that you prefer in Loxic. But we still can't compare embed. Yeah, okay. No, that's true. The embed is the biggest problem. This is quite nice. It's a nice workflow. So you start making Obsidian daily notes. So you start doing that in Obsidian, right? The notes that you made that day. Yeah, and then you have that in Loxic. I kind of have the opposite. I create things in Loxic, and then if I need to revisit them or find them, because let me show you, it's a lot easier to use the Obsidian search functionality. there we go. Let me just have it side by side. This search functionality is so much better than the Logseq search bar to me. So for me, like these days I'm using Logseq quite a lot. I use it a lot, right? But then whenever I need to search something a bit faster and with a bit of more custom filter searches, I definitely use the Obsidian search. That is what I do. I know that workflow doesn't adapt to everyone, but I really appreciate hearing your pain points and the workarounds that you've had. I think your workflow is pretty nice. It's different from mine, but it's really nice. Best tool for a given goal is the path. I have to agree. Yeah, exactly. That's it. You know, Andy, streams are very cool. Music is cool. Everything is very interesting here. Thank you so much, Andy. Really appreciate it. Glad you like the music. Is really cool music from Harris Heller, who's one of my heroes. He actually makes this really nice project called Stream Beats. You know, I guess I can show you. It's really nice. Like it's actually in Spotify. So if any of you have thought about creating content online or something like that, this is copyright-free music that I really enjoy using, and it's on Spotify. So let me actually show you. Yeah. So this is a playlist, and I just have this playing in Spotify, and I have it synced to the stream. And that way I'm able to just have copyright-free music playing from Spotify, and it's really cool workflow. Cool. You use Notion only as a website? Yeah, so for those that might not be familiar, I was sharing yesterday how I use Notion. I guess I can show you. Let me just reorganize some pages. Let me see, where do I have my Notion? Oh man, I have so many pages open. Here it is. Let me just check. Okay, yeah, all good. So yeah, Andy's talking about this that I was talking about yesterday in another stream. And this is how I actually create my website from a Notion workspace. So all of this translates into my website. Let me open it side by side so that you can see it. Where are we? Here we are. Yeah, so that's okay. I'll talk more about like what are my use cases for Notion, because that could be useful. So okay, this website right here is fully made from Notion with something called super.so, which is an amazing tool. Let me just close this one. I was showing Todoist earlier, but you know, so I have this being created from this Notion, this Notion workspace. So whatever I update here, it directly goes to the website, and that allows me to do really advanced user custom of tables, and really use, like advanced use of filters and that kind of stuff. So for instance, all of my posts, I can filter them in here by the most relevant ones or the ones that I want people to see in the main page. And I can filter by YouTube videos, my photography, I can just filter to choose my favorite ones in here. But if people want to check it out, they can go to the website, and for instance, photography, here they'll see the main ones that I want them to see. But if they want to see more, they just go to more photography right there. And that should let them see the whole photography album, let's call it, and it even has this really cool effect where whenever you hover over an image, it brings color to it, right? So yeah, I really love the idea of making websites from super.so, that's what it's called. And right now you see, like, you can even see like these really weird glitches, like there's an F before my name, and that was because I accidentally pressed an F earlier, but I just corrected it, so right now it's no longer there, that kind of stuff. So that is what I mainly use Notion for right now, but I actually use Notion quite a lot for organizing tables. So I'm actually going to share with you right now a bit of a workflow that I have when it comes to just personal use. I use it a lot for clients. So collaboration. If there's someone that I'm working with, I do consulting these days. Like if anyone needs help with setting up a system for the business or for personal use in almost any application, I really like exploring new applications, and I'm pretty good at Notion, pretty good at Obsidian and Logseq. Those are the main three that I'm trying to focus on right now. I have like a table or a workspace inside of Notion where I can collaborate with someone else, and I can be like, hey, check these resources out. These are the checklists of things that we need to cover. But for personal use, I'm actually, for instance, for streaming, here I have a checklist of everything I need to do before I start a stream. I need to open YouTube, name the stream, make it public, open OBS, which is the tool that I'm using for recording, checking the microphone, turning on the lights. You know, like I have quite a few lights. This purple one right here, those greenish one, the one in the back. You know, there's tons of things. So in order to have a nice process, and this is kind of like a bit of project management slash task management, well, a checklist really, I'm able to have a nice checklist that I can run filters through, and I can have a really nice workflow for, let me just add the filter that I had. So like for instance, I had a filter in here where I have the checklist done is not checked, and that way this is a test one. Whenever I check that one, it goes away, but it still exists. You know, when I delete the filter, you can still see all of the tasks. So that is what I use Notion for. I also use it for organizing. Let me give you another example, okay? So in my dashboard here, I have a couple of things. I'm actually planning on building this computer, you know, a gaming computer. It's really more for content creation, but I use it a lot for, this is a content creation. I'm so sorry. No, that's not what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you is equipment. Here it is. So this is a computer that I'm gonna build, and this is my option 1. You know, all the components that go in the computer. This is the case, stuff like that. And you know, like for pieces that I'm considering, for any software that I'm considering on buying and purchasing, I use Notion to create this type of custom tables, and that way I can make better decisions. I can tag things, I can organize all types of information, and that way I know that my option 3 looks slightly different with some different pieces and that kind of stuff. That's how I can, you know, organize information in a very clean way. Yeah, where's my water? Here. Okay. Nigel says, thank you for being here, Nigel. Going forward, do you think Loxic will be around in 12? Yeah, definitely. In 12 months time, definitely, absolutely. I think it's gonna survive because I've talked a lot to the creator of Loxic, and they're really cool people, really passionate to make this a long-term project. And you know, their philosophy is until, you know, they'll only finish, this is what they said, they'll only stop creating Loxic when no one else is using it. You know, if one person's still using it, they still plan to maintain it. And you know, because it's open source, or at least mostly open source, it's a type of project that is gonna last decades. That's what I believe. You know, whether it's gonna be super relevant in 10 years, I'm not fully sure, but I still think it's gonna be really good, and it's gonna be available. We're all gonna be able to use it, hopefully as long as we can. So I don't think it's gonna die. I think this is a project that we can commit for the long term. That's what I believe. Joe, yes. In terms of task management, I've seen a few different approaches. What do you think about Carl Pullin's approach? Pullin's approach. Collect, organize, do. How long term do you plan your own tasks? How long term do you plan your own tasks? Okay, interesting. I honestly haven't heard about that approach, Carl Pullin's. Let me write that down because that sounds interesting. I'll write it down in my daily notes. Where do I do it? Obsidian Loxic. I'll do it in Loxic. You know, from the live stream, I want to just like Carl Pullin's approach. There we go. And that was by Joe the man who recommended this. You know, this is how I keep track of things. And that way I know that Joe recommended this, so I'm gonna check it out later. Let me actually just zoom into this for now. Collect, organize, do. Interesting. So okay, I mean, that's very self-explanatory, and I haven't read much about it, so I really don't know the ins and out of that, but collect, organize, do. Yeah, I mean, if it's similar to getting things done, GTD, then I do kind of something similar. You know, I capture, that is a different term, so you capture the things that you think you want to do, then you organize them, which is also the equivalent of process them, and then do them, which is the same. That is getting things done, which seems to be a very similar approach. So I think it's a good approach. I use something very similar, you know, like I throw things in my inbox of things that I know I'm interested in doing. Then I organize them to really know when I want to do them, or if it's even worth doing them, or maybe not. And then I do them. So I think the approach is really good. And how long term do you plan your own tasks? You know, I tend to write down tasks that I plan to do within the same week. Maybe up to a month, I would say. You know, things that I say that I want to do this month, if I know it's something longer term, I put it under a separate category. I put it under maybe, or maybe, someday. So I guess I plan my tasks in terms of like maybe what I plan to do that same week or in a month, Great question, Joe. Thank you. I thought that making streams is much simpler. Yeah, I mean, you can do like a stream in Instagram Live and just go like, hey, what's up? But the type of stream that I'm doing, like I have like this type of thing where I can click on a button and I share my screen and share my face. I'm gonna add a lot more things, and I'm actually gonna buy the little, it's called a Stream Deck. It's just a little machine with buttons that you can do the same thing. Then you have the music in the back. Then you have like making sure that there's not enough lag. Like right now there's a bit of stuttering, is not perfect. So yeah, that's why I'm buying a new computer, so that everything's smoother. And also the light is pretty complicated sometimes. Like I have a bit of the window open. I would like to shut it down, but then I need to use this camera, which is my main camera. But the only problem is that the battery runs out, whereas the GoPro that I'm using right here, that one I can connect to the computer. That's why it's a bit more reliable. But I just need to buy the correct cables in order to use that one, so that it's always charging. But either way. So create databases and Notions is easy, very good for librarian approaches. Yeah, I agree, and I think I have that type of approach where I really like to organize things in tables, being able to tag them, being able to filter them. So yeah, I was trying not to use Notion anymore, but I couldn't find any good open source alternatives, or even alternatives that are cheaper. Yeah. Because actually Notion, I'm using it with, I have an educational account from when I was in university that I still have access to. And when you have one of those, you can use Notion, the paid plan, for free. So that's what I do. But still, like, the Notion free plan is amazing. Like, it has almost no limitations apart from collaboration. That's the only limitation. It's really good. So Nigel is asking, have you tried Roam? Roam is better. Wait, sorry, there's a bit weirdly phrased. Have you tried Roam? Is Loxic but better? No, it's not. Okay, I get it. Have you tried Roam? Is Loxic better? Should I ditch Roam for Loxic? Okay, I think Roam is amazing. Yes, I've tried it. I made a video on my very first impressions, and the very first time that I tried it is on my channel. And Roam surprised me because I didn't think it would be as good as it was. It was really incredible. I really, really enjoyed it. My only problem is paying $15 a month. I couldn't justify it for myself, considering that Obsidian exists, the Loxic exists, and they're pretty much free, so I mean, the only big disadvantage, well, not the only, but one of the biggest disadvantages of Roam is that we don't really own our notes, and that to me is a huge deal, being able to have my notes for the long term, to know that I have them somewhere. Personally, I do backups. I have them on GitHub, like my Loxic and Obsidian notes, which are markdown files. I have them backed up on GitHub. I have them on Dropbox. I have them on my computer. I have them on hard drives. Like, that is not getting lost. Like, those notes I own. I'm not gonna lose them as long as you do backups, as long as you're kind of responsible with your files, which of course is a lot of work sometimes. In that case, I think Obsidian and Loxic can be better. For me, it's just a matter of, the main thing is price. The second thing is owning your notes. So if you plan to pay for Roam indefinitely, then yeah, go for it, or you can even pay for the 5-year plan, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think it's called the Believer plan, where you can pay for 5 years in advance. If you do something like that, Roam is amazing, The biggest problem is what happens when you want to get out of Roam, right? Or if you just can't justify the price of Roam anymore, what do you do then? That is a bit of my concern. But if you can afford it, Roam is amazing, Also, another good alternative is keep using Roam if you can afford it, if you enjoy it. It's definitely a bit more stable. It's quite more stable than Loxic right now. Loxic right now is still kind of like, sometimes things go wrong, sometimes things don't work, like you have to hit, in Loxic, the main way to make it work for you without having issues is just click on this button all of the time, it just reloads things. And if not, you can also reindex things. When you reindex, everything fixes almost automatically. So that is one of the things, or like the annoyances of Lockseek. But if you're constantly hitting those buttons, it reloads things and it fixes things, so it's pretty nice. It works great. But yeah, so Roam, just the price. Yeah, my point was like, if you want to keep using Roam and you can afford it, then keep using Roam. Maybe wait so that Lockseek is a bit more advanced in the future, and then you can import all of your Roam nodes into Lockseek. It is possible, it's great, it works. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have to do some manual work for moving all of your nodes into Lockseek. But yeah, that's a good way to go. So yeah, hope that helps. Awesome, guys. If you have any final questions, we can definitely tackle them. If not, we're going to be ending soon. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Feel free to shoot me a last minute question if you have any. If not, we're going to end it in a couple of seconds. But yeah, really appreciate you being here. It's been awesome. A bit of a hair down approach to videos because I always get my hair up for videos. Right now I'm a bit in wild mode. I'm running out of water. That's how I can tell that I've been doing the stream for too long. So yeah, we got another thing. So Roam has educational account. Yeah, it does have an educational account, right? But I need to agree with you about have my notes and backups. Open source is always great. We must engage. Yep, I agree. Like it's great to be able to own your notes, and that's the main reason why I use Logseq and Obsidian over the other alternatives, with a bit of the exception of Notion because it's just too good to ignore. The tables is something that I cannot replace with other software yet. So we'll see. Hopefully one day there's going to be a good open source Notion alternative. But until then, I think I'm going to keep using Notion. All right, guys. Nigel, thank you so much for this. When is the next one? So, okay. Next week, I'm actually taking a break. I'm going to the beach for holidays. So there won't be streams next week. But the week after that, I think we're going to be able to develop a schedule. I don't know if I'll do one tomorrow. This week has really been about testing and just getting things going and getting used to the workflow. So yeah, keep an eye on your YouTube. Once I have a bit more of a schedule, I'll definitely announce it. I'll definitely let you know. Right now it's a bit impromptu. Right now it's still a bit unorganized. But next week there won't be streams. The week after that for sure. So there you go. Everything cool. Thank you. Nice conversation. Thanks. All right, Jens. Thank you, man. You've been here the whole stream. I really appreciate it. Andy Passion, Nigel. Thank you so much. Andy Passion, I really appreciate all the support. Nigel, great questions, great conversations. Hope you have a great day, guys, and hope to see you soon. Now, that is about it. That's all, folks. See you later. Bye.